Okay, everyone, welcome. Welcome to Catching Up with Ketch. This is a video series dedicated to updates, tips and tricks, best practices, and other content related to the open source project for Kubernetes deployments, Ketch. If you're new to Ketch, I will include some links in the description for you to download Ketch and to also join our community of contributors. The topic for today's video is Ketch Release 0.2.0. I am Jim Schultz. I am a developer advocate at SHPA. I am also the founder of North American DevOps Group, and I'm a community organizer for the Ketch project. I'm here today with one of our top Ketch project contributors, Mr. John Murphy. Say hello, John.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Jim.
So some of the key new features that John is going to review for us here today are support to deploy application source code, Canary application deployments, support to access application logs, and application status. And I'm going to time code all of these below in the description. So if you want to skip ahead, you'll be able to do that. So John, if you don't mind, just take a quick moment to introduce yourself, and then let's jump into the first feature, which is the support to deploy application source code.
All right. I'm John Murphy, software engineer. I've been doing this for a while. I've been part of SHPA for about 6 months. And as you all probably know, SHPA is sponsoring Ketch, so that's really awesome. We'll talk about the deploy from source feature. I've got a recording of a terminal session here, so just bear with me. And I will jump back to the beginning. So deploying from source is a little bit different than the conventional way that you deploy with Ketch, which would be just from an image. The primary difference is, as you can see from this terminal, we have to add a platform. What a platform is it's an image that actually builds your source code. So in this case, I've got a Go program that I'm going to build and deploy to my cluster. So I have to add the Go platform. We have platforms for most of the prevalent computer languages: Ruby, Python, Go, Java, several others. But the thing to remember here is if you're going to build from source, you'll want to add the platform for that source code before you get started. So now I'm getting ready to deploy. I'm in the directory of my source code, and I'm typing in Ketch app deploy and giving it the directory of the source code and an image name, which can be basically anything. But this image is going to be created, and then it's going to be used to deploy the application on your cluster. So as you can see from the output here, the build is starting. It's going to take a little bit of time, so I'll just go ahead and jump ahead. Boy, I've got a fast internet connection. All right, so you should be able to see that the app was deployed, and after the application is deployed, I just call Ketch app info and the name of the application, and it tells me the status, the pool, platform, and the address of the app, which is what you'd use to access it through a browser. So now that I've done that, I'm probably ready to jump ahead to Canary deploys. Are we ready to do that, Jim, or should we?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
No, yeah, let's jump into Canary deployments here.
Okay. Well, Canary deployments are the same as deploy from source or deploy from image. Again, here you can see we just have a few extra command line options, which is the number of steps in the deployment and how long each step takes, which is a duration. You can see from the description there, the interval between each step. I am just using 60 seconds, which is probably ridiculously brief, but for the purposes of this discussion, just to keep it moving along, that's what we'll do. I mean, typically you do something like an hour or something like that. So we see the applications deploying again, and we'll zip ahead. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay. And our app is, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, what would the typical use case be for Canary deployment? Why would somebody using Ketch care about this?
Well, Canary deployments are great because what a Canary deployment does is it leaves your existing deployment in place, and we can see that here in the terminal output. And what it does is it gradually phases traffic step by step into your new deployment. So that gives you a chance to evaluate or determine if there's any problems and reduces sort of the blast area if there is, right? So, like a real scenario might be I've got 50 instances of my application running, and I do a new deployment, and I do like that over, say, um, 5 steps, which is going to be about 20% every step. And so typically what I would do is after the first step, I'd have people internally go load the site and see if it's still working. Have the operations or the tech support people kind of keep their ear to the ground and see if there's any problems from the end users, right? And as things kind of move along, it would gradually proceed to 100%, at which point the old deployment goes away and you're completely on the new deployment. In short, it's a great way to minimize risk of a new deployment.
And you can confirm no real canaries were harmed in this deployment?
Yeah, no canaries were harmed. No canaries die under any circumstances. You can see here I'm doing a quick app log. There's not really a lot to look at here other than my 8 instances are listening. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over to another session here, or another recording where it will just show the Canary deployment moving along. Let's just jump ahead real quick. Okay. So you see I've got 9 old instances running and 9 new instances running. The new instances are serving 13% of the traffic right now. The old instances are serving 87%. And you can adjust the number of steps for your Canary deployment, make them very small or do half and half, whatever you really want to do. So if we jump ahead, you'll see it's changed. Slightly more instances, new instances are serving, or more of the traffic is being served by the new instances. And we'll jump ahead a little further. And now it's about 40%. So that's really it. It's really pretty simple. And of course, if things went horribly wrong, you could always revert back to your previous deployment.
Awesome. Let's jump on to the next one, John. Let's talk about support to access the application logs.
Yeah, in the first recording, you saw, you may have seen just a brief command where I do catch app log, the app name, and I will display whatever your application is writing to standard out. It's much easier than doing it the Kubernetes way. Um, so, I mean, the end user or the developer doesn't need to know anything about Kubernetes or the pod name or anything else. You can just do catch app log and the app name um, and tail the logs, and that's it. Very easy.
Very cool. And then the last feature we wanted to highlight here today too is the application status. Anything you can tell us about that one?
Yeah, again, in the sample here, I'm actually doing this application status with catch app info, and we jump ahead, and it is just showing us if it's running and how much traffic is being served. It's really kind of a simple output where you can see what your app is doing.
Very cool. Very cool. And anything else we want to add to the 0.2.0 release update?
Well, I'd say a couple of things. One, this is really just the beginning, and we plan on adding a lot of new features. I'd encourage everybody to try it out. If there's enhancements they'd like to see, let us know. Or we're happy to take pull requests too. So, yeah, I mean, Ketch, the whole sort of reason behind Ketch is to make it really easy for developers to do what they really enjoy doing, which is writing code and solving problems for their business, not messing around with Kubernetes, and that's what we're trying to do here.
Right. Cool. Well, John, thank you very much for the update here, and thank you to everyone who's watching this video. Please check the links below for details on how you can download Ketch, contribute, and join the community. You can even interact with John there and other top contributors, and we will catch up with all of you next time. Thanks, everyone.